Hello and welcome. Well, today I'm very excited. I'm very glad to have the opportunity to lend this platform to what I call the weightier matters. And I said, if Jesus was alive today, I'm sure he said today, Nana, you are talking about the weightier matters. What is it? The state of science education in Ghana. The state of science education in Ghana. The difference between all rich and poor nations on earth today, science and technology. You can take Japan, and if you look at a country like Congo and you ask yourself, why on earth will Japan be richer than Congo? Science and technology. As my guest says, Nana, the currency now is technology. So you can have all the gold, you can have all the oil, you can swim in it, bath in it, but if you don't have the science and technology to transform it, it is absolutely meaningless. And indeed, across the continent, it's proving to be quite true that with all we have, we just can't seem to turn it around. So it is about time that we start engaging and training the young ones and getting them excited about science, because indeed, a child in Dumasa today is competing with a child in Hong Kong because of how the world is now. We are so linked, and with the speed of information, if you blink, you miss it. Today I have with me Dr. Yao Okreku-Irenchi, and I'll come to tell you about this man and the amazing thing he's doing for science in Ghana. It's a beautiful show, and I want you all to get your young ones around the telly. Please get all the young ones around the telly, because they are not going to leave the same way they came to sit around the telly. But before I go, well, my name is Nana Ansako Akwamodu Masahini, and your host. Watch this video. I'm coming straight back. Well, thank you very much. The state of science education in Ghana. It's a beautiful show today. Like I said, get all the young ones to sit around the telly and just listen. Just get them to fall in love with this mystic subject that we were all scared of, and then we ran away to do the arts. But apparently it's fun. With me in the studio, as I said earlier, is Dr. Yao Okreku-Irenchi, Director of Ghana Robotics. Director of Ghana Robotics. I wish I had an extra 30 minutes, so I'm going to be bombarding with all the questions. Now, Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Paul.
So,
Nana.
you have to pardon me because I'm asking so many questions.
That's okay.
Yeah, Ghana Robotics. I mean, robots in Ghana?
Yes, robots in Ghana. It's actually Ghana Robotics Academy Foundation.
Okay.
GRAF for short. This foundation was started by a very good friend of mine. His name is Dr. Ashititre Biolenu. Clearly, I mean, like a Ghanaian. We've been friends since age 12. We met in the same senior high school. Maybe with time I'll mention it if need be. For a long time, we have been thinking that our kids are different from those in the advanced world, not because the brains in their heads are different, but simply because of opportunity in terms of equipment, opportunity in terms of exposure, opportunity in terms of the style of delivery when it comes to STEM. STEM here, I mean science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. If I were to summarize in just one sentence what the Ghana Robotics Academy Foundation seeks to do, it would be to create problem solvers.
Wow.
To create problem solvers.
Did you do science?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And
did you love it?
I did. Actually, before I went to Form 1, there are 6 siblings, 3 boys and then 3 girls. I am the 4th, but the 2nd boy. My older brother, he is a lecturer now in K University. He's an architect. He and I, my father, saw something technical about us. So he decided to put us in a secondary technical school. My junior brother, who comes right after me, who is the 5th of the 6 children, he went to a purely science school. Maybe with time I'll mention the name of the school. Or maybe let me do it now. We went to Ghana Secondary Technical School, Takoradi.
Yeah, give them some.
My big brother and I.
Yeah.
My younger brother used to say, I know that you two, you can use your head and your hands. So when push comes to shove, I guess you would find your way in life and you would just find something to do. But for me, I don't have the hands bit, so I need to use my head only. So he went in and did medicine. So for the boys, we've got an architect, an engineer, and then a medical doctor.
Wow. What did your dad do?
My father was a military officer, but his special area, even in the military, was managing real estate. Okay. But his unit was the 1st Signal Regiment. 1st Signal Regiment in the military will be equivalent to like the IT wing of the military.
Okay.
So he took special interest in the physics stuff. Even though he's passed away, I think, let me pay a bit of tribute to him. I say, and I'm yet to be challenged by anybody in the world, I think our father did so well, more than any father that I know. Why am I saying this? My home is the only home when we were growing up. My father got a microscope that normally you would find in the biology lab. We had that at home. So we could do experiments at home. My older siblings, 1, 2, and 3, when they were growing up, he hired the services of a French teacher, either from Togo or from Ivory Coast. And those times there was nothing like cassettes or like CDs or any of those memory stick and stuff like that. So he had this big reel thing.
Reel to reel?
Yes. He would set it up with the speakers and the microphones and all of that. You don't have access to the dining area, and the hall is like a studio like this one. And he recorded all of the lessons. That is how far he took it. He taught me certain topics in physics. I did not know that he had put me so far ahead. When I got to Form 1, I knew topics that Form 3s did not even know, and I was teaching them. Wow. It was only at that time that I realized that he's done so well for us. So God bless his heart. And for...
What's his name?
Well, he's passed away, but he was Major S.B. Okreku. Yes, he retired from the army after 34 years of service.
Wow, God bless his soul. But I brought you here because of an achievement that the Prempeh College students did. They created the world's best robot in a robotic competition.
Yes, Nana. Before I talk about Prempeh, please allow me to step back a few years because we're in 2016.
Sure.
This initiative started in 2011. After the first year, in the first year, Dr. Ashite mandated me to select about 50 senior high schools at the time. That was in the first year. And these
That's
schools,
2012.
2011.
2011.
2011. So there were about 50 senior high schools selected from every region of this country. So we got some grant, some money from the U.S. Embassy here in Accra because he wrote a proposal.
Sorry to cut in. What's the name of your mom? We need to give mom some time, some.
My mother, her name is Rose Efua Esabia Okreku. She would be happy to hear her name being mentioned on the show. And thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah.
I thought that mentioning her at this time probably will be just moving out. But thank you very much for allowing that. So she's done very well too. Thankfully, she's alive. So I'm sure when she watches this video, she'll be excited to hear that some tribute has been paid to her. So we selected 50 senior high schools across the country. You told me you were in Accra. Accra is one of those. Accra has been part of this initiative since 2011. 1 year on, the initiative had grown to the point that we now felt that we could take students to represent Ghana in the World Robot Olympiad, which is different from this Prempeh one. I'll give some more details on that one. So in the first year, St. Augustine's and Archbishop Porter Girls represented Ghana in the World Robot Olympiad. It is the biggest as far as the primary, junior high, senior high, and university is concerned when it comes to robotics in the world.
Wow.
That was in Malaysia. The following year, we went to Indonesia. And again, we had St. Augustine's, Bishop Herman, and Ebri Girls. Let me point out that in that particular competition in Indonesia, Ebri Girls and St. Augustine's did so well. Out of a possible 120 points, they raked 110.
Whoa.
And we were very happy because what we taught them to do, they were able to deliver. But this is the catch. They were not even in the top 10. They were not in the top 20. There were as many as, I think, 70 or 72 schools at the time. They were quite disappointed, but we were not disappointed because...
So even at 100 with 110 out of the 20...
They were not in the top 20. They were not.
Whoa. That's a tight competition.
Very, very much so. Actually, the first 10, all of them had a perfect score. And they had to slash some off using time. So even your perfect score would not put you in a place where you could get into the top 10 or top 20. But we were not disappointed because we knew that we were moving towards that place. Quite a number of the schools across the country have been pushing very hard. And I need to mention here that all the 50 schools that were selected had to be public senior high schools. You and I know that sometimes it's quite tough when it comes to budget from central government, and rightfully so, things are not as rosy as we would want them to be. So it's quite difficult sometimes to get them.
The private schools?
No, at the time, it was just the public schools. It was in 2012 that some private schools started coming on board.
Okay.
So as we speak, there are quite a number of private schools, and we have expanded northwards and southwards. By that I mean we have moved from just the senior high school to university. There are 2 universities that have expressed interest and are working in this particular area. And we've gone southwards to junior high and then primary.
Okay.
As we speak, there are nearly 4,000 kids from primary all the way to university participating in this initiative.
That's impressive.
4,000? 4,000, yes. For a school like Ebri Girls alone, I understand they have as many as 70 to 80 members in their club.
Wow.
Prempeh College has over 100.
On the subject of Prempeh College, let's watch this video of the Prempeh College boys and then continue. Be amazed. I told you to get the kids around the telly. You'll be impressed.
World champions. 6 Prempeh College students competed against other senior high schools from the US, Canada, China, and India. They were given a challenge to build a robot that will pat 4 balls set from different locations. Prempeh College's robot Ajingu Golf won the ultimate prize, the Toyota Innovation Award at the Robotics World Championship.
The competition was about creating or building a robot that's going to pat 4 balls set on different locations on a mat. And so you have to study the mat, know the vantage point that the golf balls can be placed, and then you design a very great robot so that it can pat the balls from every direction. And then this was the idea that through teamwork we developed, and then it's very perfect in playing all the golf balls.
The Ajingo Golf was adjudged to be the most efficient robot.
Ours is extraordinary because we put a robot at one place. It allows us to turn this one, turn to any angle, and then we just stretch our pattern and then we just hit the ball. But for other teams, the robot itself had to move, as in the ties had to move in order to go and look for the balls and hit them. But our robot is just at one place. The moment it senses the ball, it just spins its revolver and then it just spatters the ball into the goal.
The team says it wasn't difficult getting the pass, but each section has a specific use.
We have 3 sensors, 3 color sensors, 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one here. Okay. These ones are used for finding the path, this one for finding the ball, and this one to check the edges of the board. And the reason why we have to push the motors, that's these ones, back so that this will have independent space to revolve around.
Their coach, Ajiman Prempeh, said their hard work won them the prize.
We watch different kinds of videos on YouTube, other countries' videos on YouTube. So we came across Hong Kong was our target. So it was difficult for them to put the balls at the center of the hole. If you are able to put all the 4 balls at the center of the hole, it fetches you more marks. So I told my guys, boys, let's come out with a solution that we can put all the balls at the center of what? The hole.
Founding member of the Ghana Robotics Academy Foundation, Dr. Yao Okreku Irenchi, believes the future for robotics in the country is bright.
I feel inspired by Prempeh's efforts. We've been working the last 6 years, and it's not like we have not made progress. We have made progress, but this one is very big. I really feel that, not just feel, I believe, I know that there's a future. I believe that the performance of Prempeh College, their design, and all of the things that went into the organizers of RoboFest to give them the most coveted award, which is the Toyota Innovation Award, will definitely inspire not just this current team in Prempeh College, it will inspire the entire school.
The team is now preparing for the World Robot Olympiad competition in New Delhi in India later this year.
While you digest that, I'm going to take a quick break, and then when I come back, just find out that's the Toyota Innovation Award, and
that's
then
correct,
we're going to the World Robot Olympia. Make sure your kids have got all their fingers ready because that's where we're going. Don't move. State of Science Education in Ghana, and I am talking to Dr. Yao Okreku Irenchi. Very inspiring, very, very inspiring because subliminally, you always have this belief that, they can somehow do it better. But here we are with our boys, going there head on head with the Tokyo guys and beating them to their own game, if I may say. So if they can do it, it means you can do it. And then we just need to get the numbers up. So that was the Toyota
Innovation Award.
Yes, ma'am. Where was this held?
This was held in Michigan, Southfield in Michigan in the USA.
Was it not intimidating? I mean, you fly all the way from Prempeh to Michigan, all white faces with all their gadgets and fancy things?
No, not at all. I would want to take you back maybe a few months before the actual competition. What I've tried to do is to get all the teams across the country to send videos of their preparation. You and I know that sometimes people say all the nice things and they're really doing nothing. Sometimes they try to hide their unpreparedness in still images. So I insist on videos. Prempeh sent some videos together with the other schools, St. Augustine's, the Bree girls, Palm Senior High, Archbishop Porter girls, and a few more. But then we did not see this design in those videos. So on the 5th of March, which was the qualifiers, the national qualifiers held in Presec, they come and all the other schools are busily trying to do some fine-tuning, and I'm just watching them, and they just relaxed there in the corner, just taking it easy. I didn't know they were just about to release a creature that was going to win an award. So we call something quarantining. We have to ask all the teams to bring the robot to a table before we actually ask them to execute. So they bring the robot and we're seeing something entirely different. And then the first run, I told the chief trainer, his name is Michael Wilson, I said, Michael, this thing is frighteningly beautiful. That is how I describe the robot. And all of us, I wouldn't even want to call, you know, sometimes they say shock and awe, but this one I would say awe and shock. It was just beautiful in its movement, in its techniques, and all of those things. I just knew that this is a huge solution. But of course, I didn't know that what others were doing in other parts of the world. So it would have been very difficult for me to say that they will win for sure. There's no way you can say that until you have gone into a competition. So I knew the
particularly if you have Japan in it.
Of course, of course. After the competition on the 5th of March, I called the lead guy up. They had gone back to Kumasi, and I said, Victor, you guys are good. You see, I want to make noise about what you've done. But you see, I know that there are designs on the internet everywhere. So I want to be sure. By the way, even if you saw somebody's design, to build is not easy because they're not going to tell you how they built it. If you manage to build it, to program it is another huge wahala. And he says, Doc, this is an original design. So I started making noise. This is days after. And I'm required by the organizers of this competition in the US to send an official report. So we loaded the videos on our Facebook page. I sent an official report and all of that. We loaded before I sent the official report. And before I sent the official report, I get the professor who is the founder for RoboFest sending me email. He had seen all the videos we had uploaded. But then the Prempeh video, he says, what is that? Of course, he is into robotics. He's been in robotics for so many years. And of course, I wasn't sure. I knew it was a good, it was a compliment. But as to the extent, I didn't know. We did not know that somewhere on the 9th or 10th or 11th of March, more than 2 months before the competition, they had adjudged Prempeh as #1 as far as innovation is concerned. We did not get to know until the competition day. So because they had seen all the designs.
Just blow them away.
It's just as we were blown away. I didn't know they were going to be blown away that much, but they were blown away too.
Right from Ebuaka in Ashanti.
Oh yes, I am telling you.
Right from Ebuaka in Kumasi.
It gives me a lot of fulfillment. There's a lot of hope. It's a clear testimony that if we gave our kids the opportunity and if they had guidance, and that is one very important thing I'd like to mention.
On the subject of guidance, let me just acknowledge Anis Hafa, who's my senior brother. Hello, Anis.
Hello, how are you, young man?
Very well, very well, very well. This is like, we can say, let's just bring you your stone. You've been jumping up and down about giving kids the opportunity, and particularly education that you use your hands rather than just sit. And you know, I think we are celebrating our own children, particularly the Prempeh College boys who have won the Toyota Innovation Award.
I need a low volume. It's kind of low on my end. Can you get a little more volume so I can hear you properly?
Yes, let me try. I was saying that today we are celebrating the boys from Prempeh College who have won, the best robot at the Toyota Innovation Award. I'm sure you know about it.
Yes, I know about it.
And I was going to say that you've been always saying that we should allow people to use their hands rather than just the teacher copying and writing. So we've called you on the show to give you back your stone as, you know, the proverbial stone. Have I got any still?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, good. I said we've just called you to get your input on this issue.
On the issue as far as hands-on type activities for science.
Exactly, which you've been going on and on about.
Yeah. And I won't stop till we teach. You know, in Ghana or in Africa, we teach science as theory. And it comes to a point where people get tired of it. I, for example, got tired of it when all I was doing was studying science in secondary school. But when I was in primary school, each one of us in Kumasi, each one of us had a plot of land. And we grew things. We grew yams so we can see how the vine system works. We grew yams so that we can see the root system, so that we can see how photosynthesis works. So we grew beans, plantain. You know, that brought the excitement. And this was done on Fridays. So we're very excited to go to school on Fridays. But what we do now is that from elementary school all the way to university, the science is all done on paper. So what happens in that situation is that we lose interest. But we have to begin to look at the best practices. And these are things that we have to begin to understand. And I keep saying this. When we talk about scientific inquiry, it has to start very early in the schools, where young people's own curiosities are identified by them. They develop a hypothesis. If I do A, what will happen? If I change A into B, what will happen? These are the scientific discoveries that we need to do. And then the point is this. When we get into a science lab, we are not going to be fed information. We are going to use the information for something that will satisfy our curiosity and begin to see how science works. And the classic example I would give, which is a very simple one, is that, for example, in our public schools, why don't we now begin to learn the science of rain harvest? You know, practical. Why don't you learn the science of harvesting rain and using the rain to grow flowers around our yards? You know, these are the basic things that where young people for the first time begin to see the value of science because it's being applied in a small but very meaningful way that enhances their lifestyle. You know, where we apply, let's say again, rain harvesting, where young people now can direct pipes from a storage facility where it comes to the pipes and they can wash their hands. They have to begin to see the usefulness of these things. But what we do is that we memorize the science in textbooks, we reproduce what we've memorized in textbooks onto the exercise books, and then we reproduce those things for exams, and then we are getting grades. We have not moved an inch from what possibilities of science are. And then what I keep saying is this. If you look at the districts in Ghana, we have about 200 districts. Each one of them is endowed in a very special way. The idea now is to get away from the certain culture and begin to add value to the natural environment in terms of the endowments that God has given us. As I speak to you, I'm looking at a map of SADA. SADA covers more than half the size of the country.
Sure.
And every region is good for something. You know, I'm looking at the various crops that are grown, like cotton, in particular districts, even cassava.
Anis, let me come in here. I mean, so who would initiate this science revolution, if I may say it? I mean,
you know, when the University of Cape Coast was set up, part of that was to teach teachers who can teach science applications. Let me repeat this. When the University of Cape Coast was set up, it was not set up to be like Legon. It was set up to teach teachers who are going to teach young people how to apply science. But then all of that is turned to humanities. It's turned into sitting in lecture halls where people come and talk and talk and talk and reproduce what it is that they talk. So back to your question again, who's going to initiate this? We have to begin to look at the people who themselves are trained the teachers and retool their skills so they can begin to add value to what it is that they do in these lecture halls. And I keep saying this, 1 hour of lecture hall should translate into 1 hour of some kind of hands-on activity. Ghana will never leave the third world status if all we're doing is the academics. It makes no sense whatsoever. And here we are. We have responsible people in the community who are paid substantial sums of money to guard against anything that will deprive us of our progress. But then they themselves are comfortable where they are in ivory towers, but things have to change because we are not providing a good example for the young people, because they begin to think that education is where you sit in the classroom and you copy things, and at the end of the day, you get a certificate, and then when you come out, you are functionally illiterate. The focus now to move Ghana to the third world status is to start in class 1, letting young people see science in action, not science on paper. These are the things that we have to begin to incorporate into education.
Thank you very much for that insight. Thank you very much, Anis, for that insight. Dr. Anis Haffah, who's a passionate educationist.
Actually, I know Anis Haffah. Yes, we've met a few times.
Good. But I don't know if it's a fair question, but where did our love for humanities start? I mean, why are we so in love with English and literature and HR and marketing?
Frankly, I'm not sure. You know, I have been a science person all my life. As I mentioned earlier, my dad saw the technical abilities inside of me, so pushed me in the right direction. I guess it's partly due to the fact that the policymakers or the powers that be have chosen the easier way, because it costs a lot of money to invest in equipment like laboratories, and like if you have to build a technical school, you need lathe machines, you need huge machines to cut wood, to cut metal. All of those things cost a lot. But if you had to do the the humanities, and as you calling it, you don't have to invest that much until, as Anis said, until we go back to do the investment that we need to. I'm wondering how we're going to turn our fortunes around.
You see, is it real that we have potential in science?
Yes. There's no question about that. Let me go back and talk about Dr. Ashite Trebi-Olenu. He's a senior robotics engineer for NASA, and he's been working with and for NASA since 1999. Ashite was trained here. That is secondary education, all through O levels, A levels. We went to KNUST together the first year until there was what we call the ALUTA. So his dad flew him to the UK. So he had his first degree all the way to the PhD in England before he moved to North America and then eventually joined NASA. In 2000, I had the...
What does it take to join NASA? Because we always hear NASA. I mean,
honestly, I don't know all the details because I don't work with them, but I want to believe they'll be looking at a few things, including your ability, how to adapt, and your discipline, and working with people, and all of those things. So in 2000, I was studying in Japan there. By the way, I had my master's and PhD in Japan.
Okay.
So I'd gone to the US to present a paper in Houston, Texas, and then I dropped by Ashite's laboratory in Pasadena, California. If you recall, I think sometime in 2001 or 2002, that was the first time NASA sent what we call rovers. A rover is basically a robot that can be driven like a car, 2 of them. So those creatures were in his lab, and I had the opportunity of seeing them with my own eyes, a bit of demonstration.
You went to Mars or...
Yes. Yeah. And this is somebody raised here in Ghana, born here, schooled here, and all of that. And he was one of the central people. It took
that's one is Dr. Ashite. Do you know anybody?
Yes, another. These are all my mates. Francis Bobier, also in GSTS, we went to KNUST together, did mechanical engineering, and eventually joined GE. I think in 2001 or 2002, his design, GE builds engines for jetliners.
Sure.
Francis Bobier's design at the time is what was built for the Boeing, I think 767, and every model of that plane that has its engine in there, his name is embossed on it.
Wow.
This is big, and I'm sure there are other people who can talk about their mates doing different things in other parts of the world. The brains are here.
You have any more that we can big up?
Well, maybe let me tell you about what I did for my PhD.
Sure.
And so let me just talk about myself a little bit. My work on the PhD had to do with surface processing. You know, if like in your laptop, there are semiconductors, very thin films and all of that, that accounts for things becoming thinner and flatter and all of that.
Okay.
My work, of course, together with my professor and all of that, we came up with a technology that is able to grow thin films for semiconductor and surface processing.
So it's thin but still live or still...
And when I say thin film, you're looking at, just imagine one millimeter as just this tiny. And then you're splitting that into, let's say, 1 million parts.
Wow.
1 million. So that flat. And then you've got thousands or tens of thousands, in some cases hundreds of thousands of components just embedded in one tiny small area to build integrated circuits and things like that. All I'm trying to say is we are blessed, just like any other group of people upon the surface of the earth. If we can have the exposure given to our kids like Anis has talked about, now we are seeing that. The Prempeh story is proof that when the opportunity is given, they would go places, our kids will go places. Already we are beginning to see better grades being reported by kids in primary, junior high, and senior high. I'm talking about participants in this RISE program. By the way, RISE stands for Robotics Inspired Science Education. This is the activity wing of the Ghana Robotics Academy Foundation. And as I said earlier, it's not like we are seeking
Is it expensive though?
You mean that robotics?
To join the club and stuff
No,
like that?
no, it's not. And I'm happy you're asking this at this time. What we have done, or initially when we got the grant, part of the agreement was to bring in public schools. Since then, we've had private schools and even private clubs come in. All they need to do, maybe at this time, if you give me the opportunity, I'm going to give them like a contact number.
That's what I just wrote down. If a school wants to, if somebody wants to join or a school wants to join, what's the procedure?
If a school wants to join, please, wherever they are listening or watching the show, just take your pen and write down this number. 024 763 2002. So that is one number. I'll give a second and probably a third. 020 769 3568. And then 026 769 3568. You can tell those two numbers belong to just one person. When you call this number, we will tell you exactly what to do, and that will include the purchase of equipment, which is basically, you know, when we're growing up, Lego kits, like you saw the Prempeh folks do. So these are different sizes and different pieces.
Meccano or what are they?
Sorry?
Meccano or is it Meccano? You know,
those are not Meccano. Those are just tiny bricks. You've got the intelligent brick, you've got the motors. And in one particular set that is being used right now, which is the EV3, there are as many as 537 pieces. So all you need to do is to have an idea as to what you want to build, and then pick the pieces that will make you arrive at that final creature that you want to create. And then you write a program. One of the interesting things you and I, I'm sure we know, is if you tell, or if you told a group of kids over the weekend, oh, come, let me teach you calculus, or come, let me teach you algebra and all of those things, they're not likely, oh, it's too difficult, we're not going to come. But if you told them that, come, let me teach you how to build robots and make it move in a very interesting way, they're likely to come. But when they come, what they'll be doing is they'll be applying very simple math formulas to make your robot move in a particular way. They'll be applying certain principles in physics like the reflectivity of light, the detection of colors, and just a bit of mechanics to do a few maneuvers. And almost instantly, for example, when we go to places to teach them, we tell them that, okay, for starters, we're going to let our robot move just 1 meter, exactly 1 meter. We've got measurement rules and stuff like that. So we mark 1 meter. What is the size of your wheel? The circumference of your wheel? Oh, well, we are not sure. Just measure it. So they go on ahead and measure the diameter. What is the formula for finding the circumference of a circle? Almost all of them will just cough it up, 2 pi r. Okay, so now your robot has to move 1 meter. How many revolutions will your wheel have to turn to cover that distance? Just simple division or multiplication, whatever it is, they just calculate it. And then they go to the interface, which is on their laptop or whichever programming device that they've got. They just key all of those things in, download it into their robot, and then they execute. And it's exactly 1 meter. And it's like magic, but really it's not magic. They have just thought about this thing. They've just applied their physics, their math principles to make their robot move. For example, now your robot has gone straight 1 meter. You want it to make a 90-degree turn. How are you going to get that done? The active wheels are 2, and they're going to be a distance apart. Let's say 15 centimeters apart. You want to make a left turn. So a left turn, let's say, in this direction. So what you want to do is you want to hold your left wheel, and then you want your right wheel to wheel around. So you have an arc. That's a quadrant, isn't it? This is the radius. So you're stopping this wheel. You know your right wheel has to turn.
Even I'm getting excited.
Exactly. So they do that, and it turns 90, and it's exact 90 degrees. And oh, whoa. So what I have known all this while can work, and you're seeing results, and then it goes on and on and on and on and on. Amazing, amazing stuff. What we do...
Briefly before I take my break. So, I mean, there's like a Bree Girls, there's Prempeh College, there's Accra Academy. So what, do you have like supervisors for each region, or, I mean, who supervises all these clubs?
Very well. Basically, what we've done is we've partitioned the country into 4. The north, we've got a rep in Tamale.
Actually, let me take a break here. Let me take a quick break, and then we'll find out how it is that they supervise everybody. But see, I told you, get the kids around. Don't move. Even I'm getting into science now. This is so beautiful, and every day, that's why you have to be watching PM Express, because you never know what's going to happen. But today is just amazing, and I think it's a blessed story. Every time you tune in, and that minister did this, and that court did that, and he didn't do. But today we are doing what we're supposed to do, and we are winning, and we are achieving it. A good story and a worthwhile start. But you were telling me about
the supervisors are...
how it's divided so that...
Yes. So the country is divided into 4. Upper West, Upper East, and then the Northern region. We've got a rep there who tries to service, as it were, service the schools there.
Okay.
But in each school, we expect the school's administration to elect a teacher who would love to see the kids succeed, and will be coordinated, because we send emails, we send videos, we send slides to help them go about their work. But there has to be somebody there who is following up, just in case they need extra help and all of that.
Okay.
And then the middle belt.
Doc, sorry to batten, but you got kids?
Yes, I do. I've got 2 kids.
Are they into robotics?
Yes, they are. My son is 14, going on 15. He's just about writing his BEc. He wants to be a medical doctor, but he just loves robots. My daughter is 2. So we just see how far they will take it.
Sorry to batten.
No, but that's fine. That's fine. So the middle sector, which is Bron Ahafo and Ashanti region, there is a rep there, and I'll take this opportunity to thank my brother. He's my senior brother, actually, from the same parents.
Okay.
And he has done so much work in the last 3-4 years.
So Prempeh comes under his
Exactly.
What's his name?
His name is Kweku Boafo.
Kweku Boafo, well done. Well done.
And then we come to the south. The south is split into 2, southeast and southwest. But because we are along the coast, there's just a group of us here in Accra who could just go laterally like that to service like the Volta, Eastern, Greater Accra, Central, and then Western region.
You must be busy. So every Saturday or every Friday?
No. We don't do it every Saturday. What happens is regularly, I would say, I send in every quarter, or let's say every year, there may be as many as 70 or 80 emails that go out telling them specific things, what's going to happen.
Okay.
If you need help, this is the way you've got to go about it. Maybe you want to buy equipment, we'll show you how to get it done. You need to buy your robot tracks for your practice. You need to get OWA receipts. There are different challenges we do, so they do different things. And then sometimes we organize, from time to time, we organize what we call workshops in particular areas. Like we could just drive to, let's say, Takoradi, and then we invite all the schools that are participating in the initiative, and then we just walk them through. We give them videos, we give them other slides that they can work with. So it's not like every week.
Okay, but they are up-and-coming programs.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Now, to you at home, these are the numbers. Now, 3 numbers, so take it, right? So 024 763 2002. And then the next number is 020 769 3568. The last number is 026 769 3568. You need to call and make sure you get your work. But let's say I'm just at home and I just wanted my son to be a part of it. I mean, do I have to be a school or an institution?
No, you don't have to join from a particular school. It began with the schools joining, but I'm happy to report to you that private clubs have been set up and you're doing so well.
Okay.
In other words, you can have kids come from different schools in the same neighborhood, so the parents can help them get equipment, and then they form the club in that area. We will go in and teach them what to do, follow up with the emails and then the slides and all of those things, and then they keep on preparing. That leads me to maybe the next question you want to ask. What is coming up next on our calendar is our boot camp. Boot camp, which is open to all of the kids in that bracket from primary all the way to senior high and even to university. It's going to happen on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of August. This is a Thursday, Friday, and then a Saturday. We are going to prepare the kids for the national competition, which comes up on the 23rd of September for the Northern Belt, which will be Upper West, Upper East, and then the Northern region. It is a Friday. The following day, which is a Saturday, 24th, that will be in Accra for the Southeastern zone. Southeastern is Greater Accra, Eastern, and then the Volta regions. Then we go back to the Middle Belt on the 28th. I think it's a Wednesday or Thursday, but for sure it's 28th of September. That will cover the Bro Ahafo regions and Ashanti region. Then we will come down south to the southwest in Cape Coast, and then finish up with the 2 regions, so all the schools in that area. By this time, we expect that the schools or the teams that are interested in representing Ghana in the World Robot Olympiad, which will be held in New Delhi, India.
No, the Indians are.
Oh yes, that is another group. I mean, that's another group of people. You know, but I am inspired by this Prempeh success story.
So is Prempeh going to go with the same robot, or did you have to improve on it?
No, it's a completely different challenge. The robot
was to hit 4 balls.
Yes, that is RoboFest. It's a challenge in the United States.
Okay.
Completely different from the World Robot Olympiad.
So that the challenge hasn't come out yet? Or?
No, it's already out. It was released as early as January, the end of January. Every year, the challenge is released at the end of January or latest early February.
Wow.
And the competitions are
Tell
November.
me, what's the robot supposed to do? For?
In this particular case, it's going to be sorting out garbage. They're going to be building robots to sort out garbage.
Pick out glass, pick out paper.
Different things like that. Different things like that. That's what's going to happen.
Can't we say that, look, it's not our culture?
No, it is really something that we've got to be doing. I think that it falls right in our space because you and I know we're having so much challenge with garbage sorting and recycling and all of those things.
So it has to sense paper and pick paper, sense glass and pick glass out?
No. At this level, what is going to happen is the different kinds of garbage is going to be colored.
Okay.
So you must have a robot that can see different colors and then sort them out and then pick them and gather them in a particular way.
within a space of time?
Yes. Normally, the challenges are designed in such a way that you ought to complete it in 2 minutes. So for this RoboFest, it was also 2 minutes. If you work very hard, you ought to be able to finish your challenge in even under 1 minute. And it's possible. It's possible.
So my Prempeh boys, getting...
They have started working and they have given...
I think this trip Accra will have to come in and, do something. Yeah.
Find a way of inspiring them. And I'm just sure that the Prempeh success story will inject new life into this initiative. I expect it to do that. And we would want to thank your show, thank Multi TV, because without a platform like this, we cannot really reach far. So thank you very much for allowing me onto the show.
We are honored.
And we believe that others would come in one way or the other, maybe buy equipment. Some organization, some company would say that, okay, we want to buy equipment for this particular school. We'll be more than happy to tell them how to do that, and then also to go in and train the people. The initiative will have to expand. Knowledge will just have to be planted in the souls of our children. I think that is possible. I'm very excited that we have come this far, and many more people are excited too, and they're willing to help us.
What an amazing story. Little digression and then we're finished, right? But I know that there's lots and lots of you who are football lovers out there. And so I'm reminding you that the Ghana Premier League shows every Saturday on your leading channel, Adom TV, for all the cheers, tears, suspense and thrills. Don't miss the Never Say Die Accra Hearts of Oak, the fabulous Kumasi Asante Kotoko, the mysterious Ebusia Dwarves, Sekendi Hazakes, and the new kids on the block. Mediama, Liberty Professionals, Brekum Chelsea, Techiman City, Wild All Stars, New Odibiasi, and all the other Premier Giants on your favorite channel. Adom TV every Saturday. Now it's Ghana's Premier League, only on Adom TV. Yewo Azza Oye and Dr. Irenchi.
I need my hyphen more than my title.
Dr. Irenchi. What an amazing job you're doing.
Thank you very much.
And I think every help that we can do so that you can reach further, so that you can excite these kids. And I like the thing you said that, there are certain kids who may have the ability but will not be able to finance it. So all you big corporations out there who can buy, a box or two to inspire some children, it will be a very, very good cause. You never know, you train a doctor who will come and save you one day.
Most definitely. And I think that these companies can even use it as some sort of
corporate social responsibility.
Exactly, and even brand it with your name, like this is the company that has sponsored, and
this
just
club
with the name. Yes,
I agree with you. May
I thank a few people before we go?
Yes.
So I'd like to thank the U.S. Embassy, because they are the ones that threw in so much money at the beginning for us to buy equipment for all the the 50 public schools that we put in. Thank you very much, whoever is watching. I'm just hoping that there are a few people in the U.S. Embassy who are watching. I'd like to thank Michael Wilson. He's a chief trainer. He is an amazing guy. He has a way of making difficult things look very simple. Asabia Asarimenta works with us. Rachel Homeku, my own brother, I've mentioned his name. And the many more who have been working in the background, I want to say thank you. Big things are yet to come, and don't stop helping us. Thank you very much.
Well, shirts on there. Well, my shirts are provided by Tanti's Fashion. I'm sure you know that. 024-366-2001. 024-366-2001. Call Tanti's and get yourself a shirt. But thank you so much for coming, and I hope to talk to you again after the next event.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Nana Ansako. I hope I got the name right.
You got it right.
Very well.
Folks, we'll be back to do this all over again. Thank you.